What's up, everyone, and welcome back to another New Comic Book Day haul. I am your host, AR Comics, and today I'm going to be going over my top 10 list for New Comic Book Day, October 27th, 2021. What I thought was going to be a very light week for books turned out to be so awesome. Boom Studios finally released their highly anticipated series, House of Slaughter. I picked up a bunch of different variants for that one. Even DC had a couple new ones come out this week, and I cannot wait to talk about them with you. But before I get started off on this top 10 list, if you are new to the channel, I drop weekly comic book content that's going to keep you up to date on all of the latest releases. So if you don't want to miss out on that, make sure you hit the subscribe button down low and the little bell to get notified every time I drop new content. You won't regret it. And now, without further ado, let's talk about this top 10 list and last week's giveaway winner. So I hope you all are having a fantastic day so far today. The winner of last week's giveaway, this 4-book lot from Scout Comics, is Gary Davis. Congratulations on winning, and thank you everyone for entering into the giveaway. Make sure you comment down below on my pinned comment. We can discuss how I'm going to be getting these books out to you. So I'd say overall, as far as this week goes, it was a very solid New Comic Book Day. I managed to pick up 11 issues, but before I get started off on the top 10 list, one of them is just an extra printing, and this cover and the series is just so cool. It's from Scout Comics. We've got Phantom Starkiller, issue number 1. I believe it's a 4th printing, but the cool thing about this one is that it's a glow-in-the-dark cover. I'm just going to be setting this one here real quick. If you haven't already read this series, they just came out with another issue. I believe it's called Count Knuckle Duster. Both go hand in hand with each other. Very campy. I love the artwork, and it's just a very well-told story. Make sure you check your LCS to see if they still have this one in stock. But now let's talk about the real top 10 list. Alright, so super quick, I just want to give you guys a heads up. Just be aware there's probably going to be some spoilers in this video. I usually get really excited talking about some of these issues, so spoilers end up happening, but I usually give you a little bit of a heads up that they're going to be coming. Just be aware of that. So to get started off on this top 10 list this week, we've got coming in at number 10. This is DC's brand new limited series. We've got Task Force Z, issue number 1. This is cover A. This was a very last second pickup, and honestly, I thought it was alright. I did really like the artwork. I like the overall concept of the story, and I like the characters involved with this issue, but the issue itself just didn't really pull me in. And then once I kind of was reading it, I kind of lost a little bit of interest. I talk about this all the time with DC series. Even the ones that I do really like, I just have no attachment to these characters. I don't have a lot of knowledge of them. So for me to be fully invested in a DC series, it just usually doesn't happen. But with this one, without too many spoilers, our main character is Jason Todd, and he's basically the leader of this undead task force. I thought it was cool with the idea that they were bringing in dead villains and kind of zombifying them. And then there was a lot of action as well. They kind of used this task force to fight some other villains. So as I was saying, I thought the concept of it was cool. It's just not particularly my thing because I don't know a lot of these DC characters that well. So for those reasons, we've got DC's new series, Task Force Z, issue number 1, coming in at number 10. Next up on my list this week, we've got coming in at number 9. This is AWA's Moths, issue number 5. This is cover A. I like the beginning of this series, but honestly, at this point, I feel like it's really dragging on. I liked how they started everything off, where, you know, she became the Moth, she has these feeling, empathy powers, and she kind of used it to solve a crime in the very beginning. I even liked how they tied it into the other Resistance series, so it felt like the series could continue on. But now at this point, it kind of feels like it's dragging. This whole issue is basically Emily trying to prove that she does have these powers. She's trying to host a major event, while this news station is basically trying to prove the opposite, that these powers aren't real. Something major does happen at the very end, but I feel like this would have been better off as a 4-issue, maybe even a 5-issue mini run. They had the beginning of it, they tied it in with the Resistance stuff, and they probably could have ended it there. But I am interested to see how they wrap this one up. So for those reasons, we've got Moths, issue number 5, coming in at number 9. And next up this week, we've got coming in at number 8. This is Source Point Press's Unborn, issue number 2. This is cover A, and this was another very solid issue. I'm loving the artwork, but the one thing that I'm really enjoying about this series is that not only is it being told very well, but these little captain's logs, little notes that are in between some of the pages really add some nice background to the story itself. I like the character development, and overall, I'd say Frank Gogol is doing a killer job on it, no pun intended. But I am still getting a lot of Alien, Thing vibes, you know, the horror movies from back in the day. This second issue kind of makes me think of it more as The Thing. So this is going to be a little bit more of a spoiler, but with this issue, it picks up right where the last one left off. And at this point, everyone that's left from the crew that didn't die in the last issue, they're basically trying to hunt down this little alien. And that's when I said before, I kind of got some Thing vibes from it. I'm really enjoying it. Give it a shot if you can. So for those reasons, we've got Unborn, issue number 2, coming in at number 8. Next up on my list this week, we've got coming in at number 7. This is Marvel's The Amazing Spider-Man, issue number 77. This is cover A, and I think they're doing a great job with this so far. I'm really enjoying this series. I love the artwork, and I think the story's been very well done. At first, I was really worried because I thought, 3 times a month, they're just going to be putting out a lot of filler stuff, a lot of boring issues, but so far, as of now, I'm really enjoying it, and I think they're killing it. With this issue, they're even progressing Ben Reilly as a character a little bit. So for someone who doesn't know a lot about Ben Reilly, I think they're doing a pretty good job giving some backstory, and it seems like there's a lot happening in this series so far. They're setting up a lot of stuff. We still have Peter Parker, he's in his coma. Aunt May's up to something too, Mary Jane as well. We saw Black Cat make a small little appearance, but they're really focusing on Ben Reilly right now. The whole company, the Beyond Company, and just everything that entails that. I'm honestly really enjoying it. Give it a shot if you were pretty burnt out from the last volume. It feels very refreshing. So for those reasons, we've got The Amazing Spider-Man, issue number 77, coming in at number 7. And next up this week, we've got coming in at number 6, this is Images, Primordial, issue number 2. This is cover A. Now, I enjoyed this issue. I enjoyed it a lot, but I have talked to a lot of people so far that didn't really like it. For me, I'm a big fan of when Jeff Lemire teams up with Andrea Sorrentino. It really reminds me of Gideon Falls right now. The artwork, just the dialogue and the storytelling. But the key difference is that this isn't a horror series like that, and this is where I totally understand if you're not a fan of the series so far. Gideon Falls was an ongoing series. I believe there was almost 30 issues, maybe 26, 27 of them. This is only a limited series. So the fact that we're on the second issue, we don't really know a lot that's going on so far. This issue didn't have a lot of dialogue. They focused on the dog. That's where I understand that some people may not be a fan of it, because at least with Gideon Falls, you knew what you were getting into. It was going to be an ongoing series, so they had time to set things up, build the entire story and world, and go from there. This second issue deep out of, like I said, I think 5 or 6 issues. They don't have a lot of time to work with on this one. So I'm hoping it gets a little bit better as far as storytelling. I'm expecting big things from issue number 3, but let's talk about this one a little bit more down low. So for those reasons, we've got Primordial, issue number 2, coming in at number 6. And here we go, we're down to the top 5 issues of the week. We've got coming in at number 5 this week. This is Marvel's Black Widow, issue number 12. This is cover A, and I love this series. I talk about this with every top 10 list, and this might be a very biased opinion, but I think that this is one of Marvel's best ongoing series right now. Every time I read one of these issues, it feels complete. They're killing it on the writing, and I love the artwork as well. So with this issue, just like the rest of them, it starts off with whatever happened in the last issue, but it leads right into the plot. We see their plans and basically how they're going to go about those plans. We even got a little bit of backstory with Natasha and her family from the beginning of the series. We just got to see that she's still thinking about them a lot. And then from there, they put their plans in action. We get a lot of action, and it leads us into the next issue. It's phenomenal so far. If you haven't had an opportunity to read this, please pick up the trade paperback. It definitely is one of my favorite ongoings from Marvel right now. So for those reasons, we've got Black Widow, issue number 12, coming in at number 5. And next up this week, we've got coming in at number 4, this is Marvel's Moon Knight, issue number 4. This is cover A, and in my opinion, this is another must-read from Marvel. Every time an issue drops, I love it. I love the artwork, I love the storytelling, and every time I finish up the issue, I'm like, I need another one right away. So this is where I might be a little biased. I don't really know a lot about Mark Spector, Moon Knight as a character, but I think as a new reader, they're kind of doing a great job introducing us to who he really is, who Moon Knight is. Each issue, they're kind of dropping subtle hints as to who he really is as a person, and I like that. And the other cool thing about this is, while I was talking about Black Widow feeling like a complete issue every time, I'm kind of getting that on this series as well, just a little bit not as complete. Every issue we're getting action, we're getting a lot of detail about who he is as a person, and it always leads into something new. So for those reasons, definitely check this out if you can. This was another fantastic issue in my opinion, but we've got Moon Knight issue number 4 coming in at number 4. And now we're down to top 3 issues of the week. We've got coming in at number 3 this week. This is Boom Studios' brand new series. We've got House of Slaughter, issue number 1. This is cover A, and not only did I just get cover A, but I got cover B, the foil variant. Check that out. That is incredible. I also got the blank sketch cover. I'm a sucker for these. I will always pick up blank sketch covers, and then whenever I, find an artist or someone that I'm think is capable of killing it on one of these covers, I hand it over to them. And then finally, I also got, I believe this is the 1 in 25 incentive variant. So this week I went all in on the series. I love something that's killing the children. It never lets me down. And honestly, I thought this was a very good start to the series itself. It's not what I thought it was going to be. I really didn't know what I thought I was getting into, but I really like how they focus on Aaron as the main character. They showed Erica once, but they're really focusing on who he is as a person, and obviously House of Slaughter and all that good stuff too. But as far as the first issue, I like the background that they're giving us about him and just what led him to being the person that he is now. I don't want to spoil a whole bunch of stuff with that. This is something you really do need to read for yourself, especially if you're a big Something Is Killing the Children fan. So for those reasons, we've got House of Slaughter, issue number 1, coming in at number 3. And next up this week, we've got coming in at number 2. This is DC's brand new series, DC vs. Vampires, issue number 1. This is cover A, and I was really impressed with this issue. It was so much better than I thought it was going to be. I'm really happy that a lot of you guys were like, hey, you need to pick this one up. It's going to be awesome. It definitely was. Now, I know I just got done talking about with Task Force Z, how I don't feel a lot of attachment to DC characters. I don't have a lot of knowledge about them. But the cool thing about this series was it kind of reminded me a little bit like Deceased. Not the same storyline at all, because obviously this one is with vampires, but it felt more new reader friendly, where a new reader who doesn't know a lot about these characters could just kind of jump in. We had Lex Luthor, Green Lantern, and a few other characters in there as well. Batman and Alfred made an appearance towards the end. So it's going to be more on the Deceased scale, where there's just a ton of DC superheroes, and I'm hoping that's exactly where they go with this one, because I'm definitely looking forward to seeing where they go with this story. So for those reasons, check it out if you didn't pick it up. We've got DC vs. Vampires, issue number 1, coming in at number 2. And here we go. We're down to my number 1 read of the week. We've got coming in at number 1 this week. This is Image's Philadelphia, issue number 18. This is cover A. Now, I might be biased with this opinion, but this was hands down my favorite issue of the series. I definitely think this was the best one so far. We had a little bit of everything. We got to see all the characters kind of come together, and everything that they've been working for with this new arc, new volume, is coming down to not just this issue, but the next one. But the really cool thing that I think, in my opinion, makes this issue one of the best ones is obviously there's a ton of action. We got to see all of the characters figuring things out. Another character got introduced, but last week when I talked about the Nightmare blog, the Nita Hawes issue, they referenced Nita Hawes in this issue as well. So I was talking about in the last top 10 video, maybe they're building towards a whole Philadelphia Nightmare blog, just kind of demon world. And I think with this one now, they kind of are moving towards that. I'm really excited. So for those reasons, definitely hop on the trade paperbacks. You need to pick up Nightmare Blog number 1 as well. We've got Philadelphia, issue number 18, coming in at number 1. And now it's time for this week's giveaway. Congratulations again to Gary Davis for winning last week's giveaway. Make sure you comment down below on my pinned comment. We can discuss how I'm going to be getting the books out to you. As far as this week goes, I'm going to be giving away Task Force Z, issue number 1 for you DC fans out there that didn't have an opportunity to pick it up. Now's your chance. I'm not only going to be giving away this book, I'm also going to be giving away Monster Kill Squad, issue number 2 from Bad Idea Comics. So to enter into this giveaway, all you have to do is make sure you comment down below what your favorite issue of the week was, and make sure you're subbed up to the channel as well. And thank you for watching this video. If you did enjoy it, make sure you hit that thumbs up button. And if you don't want to miss out on any of my upcoming content, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down low and the little bell to get notified every time I drop new content. You won't regret it. And I've got 2 more videos sitting off to the side here with more of my comic book content. Click on one of those and I'll see you in the next one. Have a great day.